yeah, we have to start all the streams. Great. That's nice. That's nice. Hello, Erling. Nice to see you. We're reading random passages from the Lord of the Rings in my garage. That'll be fun. That will be fun. If you want me to read a page from the Lord of the Rings with voices and acting and all, just comment a page number between 21 and 1008. And that's what we will be doing. So, I have to like administrate this live stuff here. I am a bit late. Yes, I am. But you know, that happens. I'm learning this live stuff as I go. So sometimes I will be late, but not late as a wizard, late as a human. So that's that. So come on. I need a page. I need one page between 21 and 1008 to start this show. Let me just see if everything is 21 to 1008. We're reading random passages from the Lord of the Rings. Anyone? Who's the first one? It is between 21 and 1008. Come on, guys, we need a page. I need a page. Or I'll have to find a page myself. Okay, we've got two suggestions. 561. 786. We'll start with 561. Not sure what page that is, but that is the point. 561. Oh, this is 561. That's a short page. We'll do 560 instead, okay? That'll be fine. It's from the end of the Flotsam and Jetsam chapter. So let's do it.
He was, said Aragorn, and also Saruman's spy and servant in Rohan. Fate has not been kinder to him than he deserves. The sight of the ruin of all that he had thought so strong and magnificent must have been almost punishment enough, but I fear that worse awaits him. Yes, I don't suppose Treebeard sent him to Orthanc out of kindness, said Merry. He seemed rather grimly delighted with the business and was laughing to himself when he went to get his bathe and drink. We spent a busy time after that, searching the Flotsam and rummaging about. We found 2 or 3 storerooms in different places nearby, above the flood level. But Treebeard sent some Ents down, and they carried off a great deal of the stuff. We want man food for 25, the Ent said. So you can see that somebody had counted your company careful before you arrived. You 3 were evidently meant to go with the great people, but you would not have fared any better. We kept as good as we went, I promise you. Better, because we sent no drink. What about drink? I said to the Ents. There is water of Isen, they said, and that is good enough for Ents and men. But I hope that the Ents may have found time to brew some of their draughts from the mountain springs, and we shall see Gandalf's beard curling when he returns. After the Ents had gone, we felt tired and hungry, but we did not grumble. Our labours had been well rewarded. It was through our search for man-food that Pippin discovered the prize of all the Flotsam, those hornblower barrels. Pipeweed is better after food, said Pippin. That is how the situation arose. We understand it all perfectly now, said Gimli. All except one thing, said Aragorn. Leaf from the South Farthing in Isengard. The more I consider it, the more curious I find it. I have never been in Isengard, but I have journeyed in this land, and I know well the empty countries that lie between Rohan and the Shire. Neither goods nor folk have passed that way for many a long year, not openly. Saruman had secret dealings with someone in the Shire, I guess. Worm tongues may be found in other houses than King Theoden's. Was there a date on the barrels? Yes, said Pippin. It was the 1417 crop, That is last year's, no? The year before, of course. Now, a good year. Ah, well, whatever evil was afoot is over now, I hope, or else it is beyond our reach at present, said Aragorn. Yet I think I shall mention it to Gandalf, small matter though it may seem among his great affairs. I wonder what he's doing, said Merry. The afternoon is getting on. Let us go and look around. You can enter Isengard now at any rate, Strider, if you want to, but it is not a very cheerful sight.
Not a cheerful sight indeed. That was page 560. Say, what was the other one? I have to scroll through the chats to see this? Should have written it down. 786. Okay, 786. Thank you, Dominic, and thank you, Rory, for suggesting pages. If anyone else wants to suggest a page, you can comment a page number between 21 and 1008 if you want me to read it next. Good. 768. 768. Such a good page number. 768. Let's see. Okay. If you're new here, is there anyone here? 3 here, 4 there? That's all that we need. We're reading random passages from The Lord of the Rings, with voices and acting and all. That's kind of important. 768 is a page from The Return of the King. The Passing of the Grey Company is the chapter. Let's see who's talking here. Then it seemed to Gimli and Legolas, who were nearby, that she wept, and in one stern and proud that seemed the more grievous. But she said, shit, who's this? Who's this talking? Hang on, I'm sorry. I had to... Oh, it's Eowyn, of course. Never mind, I'll start again. Sorry about that. But she said, Aragorn, wilt thou go? I will, he said. Then wilt thou not let me ride with this company, as I have asked? I will not, lady, he said, for that I could not grant without leave of the king and of your brother, and they will not return until tomorrow. But I count now every hour, indeed every minute. Farewell. Then she fell on her knees, saying, I beg thee. Nay, lady, he said, and taking her by the hand he raised her. Then he kissed her hand and sprang into the saddle and rode away, and did not look back. And only those who knew him well and were near to him saw the pain that he bore. But Eowyn stood still as a figure carven in stone, her hands clenched at her sides, and she watched them until they passed into the shadow under the black Dwimmerberg, the haunted mountain, in which was the door of the dead. When they were lost to view, she turned, stumbling as one that is blind, and went back to her lodging. But none of her folk saw this parting, for they hid themselves in fear, and would not come forth until the day was up, and the reckless strangers were gone. Then some said, They are elvish wights. Let them go where they belong, into the dark places, and never return. The times are evil enough. The light was still grey as they rode, for the sun had not yet climbed over the black ridges of the haunted mountain before them. A dread fell on them, even as they passed between the lines of ancient stones, and so came to the Dimholt. There, under the gloom of black trees that not even Legolas could long endure, they found a hollow place opening at the mountain's root, and right in their path stood a single mighty stone, like a finger of doom. Ooh. Exciting stuff. Aragorn and Gimli going and Legolas going into the mountain. That was page 768. If you have another page for me, I will gladly read it. I will gladly read it from The Lord of the Rings with voices and acting and all. 800. Wait, what? Hang on. Let me scroll here. I'm listen. That's the Norwegian kicking in. So we've got 133, and we've got I need to write this down because the chat is going crazy. Let's read on. Let's read on. Page 133. There, we're back. Good. 133. Must be fun watching me flip through the pages. Here we go. The Fog on the Barrow Downs is this chapter, is this page from. They took a deep draught of the air and felt that a skip and a few stout strides would bear them wherever they wished. It seemed faint-hearted to go jogging aside over the crumpled skirts of the downs towards the road, when they should have been leaping, as lusty as Tom, over the stepping stones of the hills straight towards the mountains. Goldberry spoke to them and recalled their eyes and thoughts. "Speed now, fair guests," she said, "and hold to your purpose. North with the wind in the left eye and a blessing on your footsteps. Make haste while the sun shines." And to Frodo she said, "Farewell, elf friend. It was a merry meeting." But Frodo found no words to answer. He bowed low and mounted his pony, and followed by his friends jogged slowly down the gentle slope behind the hill. Tom Bombadil's house and the valley and the forest were lost to view. The air grew warmer between the green walls of the hillside, and the scent of turf rose strong and sweet as they breathed. Turning back, when they reached the bottom of the green hollow, they saw Goldberry, now small and slender like a sunlit flower against the sky. She was standing still watching them, and her hands were stretched out towards them. As they looked, she gave a clear call, and lifting up her hand, she turned and vanished behind the hill. Great. Great page. That was page 133. Very good. That's a good page. I gotta say that's a good page, man. So we are live both on YouTube and on TikTok because I'm trying some stuff out. So we can't speak today. So a funny video about that, millennials not being able to speak correctly. So we're reading random passages from the Lord of the Rings, and next page is page 561. We did that. I'm sorry. 26. Sindre is always suggesting the next page after the last. He suggested last. He wants me to read the whole book from beginning to end. Page 26 it is, with voices and acting and all. Before long, the invitations began pouring out, and the Hobbiton post office was blocked, and the Bywater post office was snowed under, and voluntary assistant postmen were called for. There was a constant stream of them going up the hill, carrying hundreds of polite variations on "Thank you, I shall certainly come." A notice appeared on the gate at Bag End. No admittance except on party business. Even those who had or pretended to have party business were seldom allowed inside. Bilbo was busy writing invitations, ticking off answers, packing up presents, and making some private preparations of his own. From the time of Gandalf's arrival, he remained hidden from view. One morning, the hobbits woke to find the large field south of Bilbo's front door covered with ropes and poles for tents and pavilions. A special entrance was cut into the bank leading to the road, and wide steps and a large white gate were built there. The three hobbit families of Bagshot Row, adjoining the field, were intensely interested and generally envied. Old Gaffer Gamgee stopped even pretending to work in his garden. The tents began to go up. There was a specially large pavilion, so big that the tree that grew in the field was right inside it, and stood proudly near one end, at the head of the chief table.
Lanterns were hung on all its branches. More promising still, to the hobbit's mind, an enormous open-air kitchen was erected in the north corner of the field. A draught of cooks from every inn and eating house for miles around arrived to supplement the dwarves and other odd folk that were quartered at Bag End. Excitement rose to its height. Then the weather clouded over. That was on Wednesday, the eve of the party. Anxiety was intense. Then Thursday, September the 22nd, actually dawned. The sun got up, the clouds vanished, flags were unfurled, and the fun began. I would have loved to be on that party. Seems nice. Seems very nice. What's this? Hey. Hey guys, we're reading random passages from The Lord of the Rings with voices and acting and all. Hello Pep, I've seen you in the comments. You'll get your page now. That's good. 196. That's for you, Pep. 196. Why isn't the chat moving? I'm sorry. 196. Let's go. There we go. 196. Flight to the Ford. This is from the Flight to the Ford chapter from The Lord of the Rings. It could be very exciting. Before long, he came hurrying back. Oh, hang on, I need to find out Strider. Okay. Before long, he came hurrying back. I can see no sign of the enemy, he said, and I wonder very much what that means, but I have found something very strange. He held out his hand and showed a single pale green jewel. I found it in the mud in the middle of the bridge, he said. It's a beryl, an elf stone. Whether it was set there or let fall by chance, I cannot say, but it brings hope to me. I will take it as a sign that we may pass the bridge, but beyond that I dare not keep to the road without some clearer token. At once they went on again. They crossed that led away northwards through the steep lands on the left of the road. Here Strider turned aside, and soon they were lost in a sombre country of dark trees winding among the feet of sullen hills. The hobbits were glad to leave the cheerless land and the perilous road behind them, but this new country seemed threatening and unfriendly. As they went forward, the hills about them steadily rose. Here and there upon heights and ridges they caught glimpses of ancient walls of stone and the ruins of towers. They had an ominous look. Frodo, who was not walking, had time to gaze ahead and to think. He recalled Bilbo's account of his journey and the threatening towers on the hills north of the road, in the country near the Troll's Wood, where his first serious adventure had happened. Frodo guessed that they were near now in the same region, and wondered if by chance they would pass near the spot. "Who lives in this land?" he asked, "and who built these towers? Is this troll country?" "No," said Strider. "Trolls do not build. No one lives in this land. Men once dwelt here ages ago, but none remain now. They became an evil people, as legends tell, for they fell under the shadow of Angmar. But all were destroyed in the war that brought the North Kingdom to its end. But that is now so long ago that the hills have forgotten them, though a shadow still lies on this land." "Where did you learn such tales, if all the land is empty and forgetful?" asked Peregrine. "The birds and beasts do not tell tales of that sort." "The heirs of Elendil do not forget all things past," said Strider, "and many more things than I can tell are remembered in Rivendell." "Have you often been to Rivendell?" said Frodo. "I have," said Strider. "I dwelt there once, and still I return when I may. There my heart is, but it is not my fate to sit in peace, even in the fair house of Elrond." Good page, Pep. Thank you for suggesting a page. If you want me to suggest a page, read. If you want me to suggest a page, I'm not going to be the one suggesting pages. You will be suggesting pages from The Lord of the Rings between 21 and 1008. I hope I hope your exams will be good.
100 and... Did we do that? I haven't kept... this is hard. Hello, Mr. Bruce. I think I know who you are. Let's go. Let's read some more pages. We have page 561, we did that. 26, we did that. 162, did we do that? One of the answers to a question on your maths exam. We did not do 162, that's why we'll do 162. Let's go. 162. It is from the Strider chapter. I love Strider. Who's your favorite character in The Lord of the Rings?
You must not count on that, said Strider sharply. They will return, and more are coming. There are others. I know their number. I know these riders. He paused, and his eyes were cold and hard. And there are some folk in Bree who are not to be trusted, he went on. Bill Fernie, for instance. He has an evil name in Breeland. And queer folk call at his house. You must have noticed him among the company, a swarthy, sneering fellow. He was very close with one of the southern strangers, and they slipped out together just after your accident. Not all of those southerners mean well, and as for Fernie, I would sell anything to anybody. He would sell anything to anybody, or make mischief for amusement. What will Fernie sell, and what has my accident got to do with him? Said Frodo, still determined not to understand Strider's hints. News of you, of course, answered Strider. An account of your performance would be very interesting to certain people. After that, they would hardly need to be told your real name. It seems to me only too likely that they will hear of it before this night is over. Is that enough? You can do as you like about my reward. Take me as a guide or not. But I may say that I know all the lands between the Shire and the Misty Mountains, for I have wandered over them for many years. I am older than I look, so am I. I might prove useful. You will have to leave the open road after tonight, for the horsemen will watch it night and day. You may escape from Bree and be allowed to go forward while the sun is up, but you won't go far. They will come on you in the wild, in some dark place where there is no help. Do you wish them to find you? They are terrible. The hobbits looked at him and saw with surprise that his face was drawn as if with pain, and his hands clenched the arms of his chair. The room was very quiet and still, and the light seemed to have grown dim. For a while he sat with unseeing eyes, as if walking in distant memory or listening to sounds in the night far away. There! He cried after a moment, drawing his hand across his brow. Perhaps I know more about these pursuers than you do. You fear them, but you do not fear them enough yet. Tomorrow you'll have to escape, if you can. Strider can take you by paths that are seldom trodden. Will you have him? There was a heavy silence. Frodo made no answer. His mind was confused with doubt and fear. Sam frowned and looked at his master, and at last he broke out. With your leave, Mr. Frodo, I'd say no. This Strider here, he warns and he says take care, and I say yes to that, and let's begin with him. He comes out of the wild, and I never heard no good of such folk. He knows something, that's plain, and the more than I like, but it's no reason why we should let him go leading us into some dark place far from help, as he puts it. Pippin fidgeted and looked uncomfortable. Strider did not reply to Sam, but turned his keen eyes on Frodo. Frodo caught his glance and looked away. No, he said slowly. I don't agree, I think. I think you are not really as you choose to look. You began to talk to me like the Bree folk, but your voice has changed. Still, Sam seems right in this. I don't see why you should warn us to take care, and yet ask us to take you on trust. Why the disguise? Who are you? What do you really know about my business? And how do you know it? The lesson in caution has been well learned, said Strider with a grim smile. But caution is one thing and wavering is another. You will never get to Rivendell now on your own, and to trust me is your only chance. You must make up your mind. I will answer some of your questions, if that will help you do so. But why should you believe my story, if you do not trust me already? Still, here it is.
I had to read from the other page as well. Page 162, that's it. Hi, folks. Hello, folks. Everyone, if there is anyone here. Oh, there are people. That's very good. Hello, people. I love having you here in my garage. We're reading random passages from the Lord of the Rings with voices and acting and all. If you want me to comment, if you want me to send a page, if you want me to read a page, comment it. Between 21 and 1008. Now somebody has commented page 1000. Page 1000. Yes, let's do that. And you're sending roses and stuff. That's nice. Thank you. Let's go for page 1000. An epic page, I assume. Oh. 1000. The Grey Havens. Oh, the sad part where they leave in the boats. Let's just see here, said Mary. Okay, page 1000. Thank you for sharing this live and stuff. They really appreciate that. This is a good place. Look, I have a fire in my garage and nice lighting. Okay, page 1000. Let's go. Sam is speaking.
But I'm sure the lady will not like me to keep it all for my own garden, now so many folk have suffered, said Sam.
Use all the wits and knowledge you have of your own, Sam, said Frodo, and then use the gift to help your work and better it, and use it sparingly. There is not much here, and I expect every grain has a value. So Sam planted saplings in all the places where specially beautiful or beloved trees had been destroyed. And he put a grain of the precious dust in the soil at the root of each. He went up and down the Shire in this labour, but if he paid special attention to Hobbiton and Bywater, no one blamed him. And at the end he found that he still had a little of the dust left, so he went to the 3-farthing stone, which is as near to the centre of the Shire as no matter, and cast it in the air with his blessing. The little silver nut he planted in the party field where the tree had once been, and he wondered what would come of it. All through the winter he remained as patient as he could, and tried to restrain himself from going round constantly to see if anything was happening. Spring surpassed his wildest hopes. His trees began to sprout and grow as if time was in a hurry and wished to make 1 year do for 20. In the party field, a beautiful young sapling leaped up. It had a silver bark and long leaves and burst into golden flowers in April. It was indeed a malorn, and it was the wonder of the neighbourhood. In after years, as it grew in grace and beauty, it was known far and wide, and people would come long journeys to see it. The only malorn left west of the mountains and east of the sea, and one of the finest in the world. Sam planting the trees. Very nice. Okay, thank you for sharing my live reading of random passages from the Lord of the Rings. Love that you're here. Love it. Let's see, what pages have we not done here? We have not done page 167. If you want me to read a page, comment it in the comment section. We'll do 167, and then we'll do 100. I see someone have also chatted. 167. Or did we do it? Hang on, let me just find out. Quickly. Don't go anywhere. 167. I don't think we did it. Let's do that. Let's do that. 167. Hey, Axel Kent. Oh, my pupils are here. That's okay, Axel. You can calm down. 176. 167.
Hang on, I've gotten the wrong page. Still on the Strider. Oh, flipping pages is hard while holding a book. Hey, it's a poem. It's from Gandalf's letter. So I guess I'll read that in Gandalf's voice then.
P.S. Do not use it again. Not for any reason whatsoever. Do not travel by night. P.P.S. Make sure that it is the real Strider. There are many strange men on the roads. His true name is Aragorn. All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. From the ashes a fire shall be woken. A light from the shadows shall spring. Renewed shall be blade that was broken. The crownless again shall be king. P.P.P.S. I hope Butterbur sends this promptly. A worthy man, but his memory is like a lumber room. Thing wanted always buried. If he forgets, I shall roast him. Farewell.
Frodo read the letter to himself, and then passed it to Pippin and Sam. Really, old Butterbur has made a mess of things, he said. He deserves roasting. If I had got this at once, we might all have been safe in Rivendell by now. But what can have happened to Gandalf? He writes as if he was going into great danger.
He has been doing that for many years, said Strider.
Frodo turned and looked at him thoughtfully, wondering about Gandalf's second postscript. Why didn't you tell me that you were Gandalf's friend at once? He asked. It would have saved time.
Would it? Would any of you have believed me till now? Said Strider. I knew nothing of this letter. For all I knew, I had to persuade you to trust me without proofs, if I was to help you. In any case, I did not intend to tell you all about myself at once. I had to study you first, and make sure of you. The enemy has set traps for me before now, and as soon as I had made up my mind, I was ready to tell you whatever you asked. But I must admit, he added with a queer laugh, that I hoped you would take to me for my own sake. A hunted man sometimes wearies of distrust and longs for friendship. But there, I believe my looks are against me.
They are, at first sight at any rate, laughed Pippin with sudden relief after reading Gandalf's letter. But handsome is that handsome does, as we say in the Shire. And I dare say we shall all look much the same after lying for days in hedges and ditches. Okay, that was page 167. Somebody wants me to play Minecraft. This is not a Minecraft thing. This is random pages from the Lord of the Rings live. Okay. So we've got done that, page 160. You have to comment the page between 21 and 1008 if you want me to read it next. And we'll do a couple more minutes. My phone is soonly dying, but my Macintosh is still going strong. I might have to kick you out of this chat, Axel, before... He's my pupil, you know. Can't have this spamming. Page 6, page 67. We'll do 27 first because Sindre wants it from YouTube. This live is also on YouTube and on TikTok because I'm a nerd. Page 27. That is the page after page 26, which we read a few minutes ago. 27. Bilbo's party. On this occasion, they present... let me start that again. On this occasion, the presents were unusually good.
The hobbit children were so excited that for a while they almost forgot about eating. There were toys, the like of which they had never seen before, all beautiful and some obviously magical. Many of them had indeed been ordered a year before and had come all the way from the mountain and from Dale, and were of real dwarf make. When every guest had been welcomed and was finally inside the gate, there were songs, dances, music, games, and of course food and drink. There were 3 official meals: lunch, tea, and dinner, or supper. But lunch and tea were marked chiefly by the fact that at those times all the guests were sitting down and eating together. At other times there were merely lots of people eating and drinking continuously from 11:00 until 6:30, when the fireworks started. The fireworks were by Gandalf. They were not only brought by him, but designed and made by him, and the special effects, set pieces, and flights of rockets were let off by him. But there was also a generous distribution of squibs, crackers, bacca-rappers, sparklers, torches, dwarf candles, elf fountains, goblin barkers, and thunderclaps. They were all superb, the art of Gandalf improved with age. There were rockets like a flight of scintillating. There were rockets like a flight of scintillating birds singing with sweet voices. There were green trees with trunks of dark smoke, their leaves open like a whole spring unfolding in a moment, and their shining branches dropped glowing flowers down upon the astonished hobbits, disappearing with a sweet scent just before they touched their upturned faces. There were fountains of butterflies that flew glittering into the trees. There were pillars of colored fires that rose and turned into eagles or sailing ships, or a phalanx of flying swans. There was a red thunderstorm and a shower of yellow rain. There was a forest of silver spears that sprang suddenly into the air with a yell like an embattled army, and came down again into the water with a hiss like 100 hot snakes. And there was also one last surprise, in honor of Bilbo, and it startled the hobbits exceedingly, as Gandalf intended. The lights went out. A great smoke went up. It shaped itself like a mountain seen in the distance and began to glow at the summit. It spouted green and scarlet flames. Out flew a red-golden dragon, not life-size, but terribly lifelike. Fire came from his jaws. His eyes glared down. There was a roar, and he whizzed 3 times over the heads of the crowd. They all ducked, and many fell flat on their faces. The dragon passed like an express train, turned a somersault, and burst over Bywater with a deafening explosion.
Hi guys, the YouTube chat is, that's not cool guys. Let's see. Anything I can do to stop this spamming? Maybe not. Maybe I'll have to kick people out. Maybe I'll have to. I'll do that. 10 minutes. Okay, sorry about that. We are reading random passages from the Lord of the Rings with voices and acting and all. Comment the page number between 21 and 1008 if you want me to read it next. Now, 27 was done. 167 we have done. This TikTok chat is just... Where is the Fenalor? Oh, it's right here. Where is the sheep's leg? I still have it. We'll do a break in the readings to just show my sheep's leg here. It's been hanging in my garage. Maybe this is what I'll be doing on my next live, because this is a sheep's leg that I bought in year 2022, and I still haven't opened it, and I'm wondering if is it still eatable? That's the question. It says best before March 1st, 2023. So, you know, that'll be maybe not the best thing to eat, but maybe I'll eat it on my next live and get sick. Because I said I would eat it live on social media in a video ages ago, and some people have not forgotten. So thank you for keeping me to my promises. Can't eat it now because I didn't bring my knife. I'll hang it up, back up. Okay, let's do another readings. Pappa Pam outfit är bedre enn Ringenes herre. Okay. But this is more easy. Well, it's not easy, but it's funny. Okay. Any more suggestings of pages? I need to plug my phone into the charger. Hang on. I need to chat. Hello, Megud. Are you also going to spam this YouTube chat? Side 101. Let's do page 101. After I've plugged in my thing here. Here. There we go. I've got power. because it's not